Hello everyone and welcome back to Jenna Voice. So today's video is going to be all about how to deal with performance anxiety. Performance anxiety is not one of the more fun parts of being a singer, but it's really something that every singer deals with at every single level. It never really goes away. We all just kind of learn how to deal with it and accept it. So here are my tips on dealing with performance anxiety. Tip number one is to do the work. And what I mean by this is to prepare your music, really get it ready for whatever performance you have, whether it's an audition, a recital, or a master class, whatever it is, make sure your music is completely prepared and ready. If you aren't sure about how to prepare your music, I did make two separate videos, one on how to learn a song or an aria, and another on how to prepare a role. So check those out in the description box below if you have not already. Alright, so my next tip is to make a timeline. Think about what you need to do from now up until the performance to be completely ready. If you have a lot of memorization to do, break that down to days. Think about how much is realistic for you to work on every single day and break it down into smaller chunks. For me, I find that much more manageable if I have little bits to do every day rather than a ton to do a few days before the performance. My next tip is to visualize yourself. For me, it really helps to think of myself in the space, what I'm going to look like performing, visualizing myself succeeding in that performance, getting a good response from the audience, having fun with my music and my character are all really positive ways to get you excited about your performance rather than nervous and anxious about it. My next tip is to not obsess about this upcoming performance. Don't spend every waking minute thinking about it. Make sure you're kind of going about your normal routine as well as incorporating a time every day to work on that music. But make sure you have time to do other things that make you happy and keep you sane so that you don't overanalyze the upcoming performance and give yourself unnecessary stress about it. As it gets closer to the performance, I think it's important to address anxiety symptoms that you're feeling. Is your heart racing extra when you think about the performance? Are your hands getting clammy? Are you short of breath? Are you eating healthy? Are you getting enough sleep? If you're experiencing a lot of these symptoms, I would suggest talking to your teacher about them. I'm sure they'd have some really great tips on how to help you combat them. For me, trying to stay in my normal routine as much as possible is really helpful for me for things like getting enough sleep and eating healthily. If you're still feeling really anxious or negative feelings about your performance that is coming up, I would encourage you to ask yourself questions like, why am I feeling this way? What do I have to be so afraid of? What could possibly go wrong? Most of the time, the things that I get so nervous about are not realistic, or they really aren't as bad as I perceive that they could be. For example, one of my biggest fears is having a memorization slip in a performance. And to this day, I've had many memorization slips. But because I've done the work beforehand, I've been able to get through any sort of memory slip with very few people noticing. As it gets closer and closer to the performance and the day of the performance, I would just remind yourself to breathe. Make sure you're taking deep breaths whenever you feel those anxious feelings. They're probably not gonna go away, but just learning how to deal with them as much as possible is so important. In addition, continue to remind yourself of the work that you've done. You're really prepared, you've thought about this performance for a long time, and you've done the work to get yourself there. Have confidence in yourself and trust in the work that you've done. So I hope you all found this video helpful. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below if you have other tips for dealing with performance anxiety. If you found this video to be helpful, please feel free to share it with your friends if you think it might help them also deal with performance anxiety. And as always, please subscribe if you have not already. And I will see you all very soon. Bye.